Hey, everybody. There's nothing better than being the speaker while you all are trying to eat your food, and so let me try to get your attention. What I wanted to do was sort of explain a little bit about why Arizona State University is the proud home of the McCain Institute for Leadership, why for more than 15 years we've worked as diligently as we have to find a way to fulfill this dream of building an institution, the McCain Institute, which has the capability and the capacity to be transformative in terms of problem solving, character-based decision-making, character-based democracy, principle-based decision-making, principle-based democracy. And our university is a new kind of university. Now, universities have come under significant social and political pressure to improve themselves. I agree with all of that, believe it or not. So what I want to do is I want to walk through what I think we're trying to do with the McCain Institute and what we're trying to do with Arizona State University. So I got a couple pictures that I put together while I listened to the other talks earlier this afternoon. So first slide. So this is a very famous picture by John Trumbull. It's the closest thing to a photograph of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and as we all know, about 250 years ago, almost exactly. And in this picture, there's, I think, 56 individuals that signed this document. Here's the funny, goofy thing. 56 individuals in the 1770s in a country that had 9 colleges, and 32 of them have attended college. 32 of them, and some of them, like James Madison, are intellectual, philosophical geniuses. Ben Franklin didn't go to college because he was a polymath. He built a college called the University of Pennsylvania, created by him. And so this notion of this painting is also really important because this was a moment in time in which we were laying down what we hoped to be. I sent this picture out not too long ago, and I got back some powerfully snarky, profane messages from different people that are on my email messages and my email list saying, well, these people are all flawed. They designed a flawed system. They designed, almost all of them owned at least household slaves or were larger slave owners from the South. Almost all of them. Obviously a flaw. The document itself was aspirational. And so the point I want to make relative to what we're trying to do with the McCain Institute and what we're trying to do with Arizona State University is that these people got together. And oh, by the way, when they put their name on that piece of paper, they were sentenced to death. And then the war that followed, I have this thing, it's just the process. The process isn't you sign some piece of paper, everybody has a happy time, they check each other's email, and everything goes about in some really positive way. There were all told about 70,000 deaths in the American Revolution. 7,000 soldiers died in combat. Many, many thousands and more died of sickness and illness. Over 10,000 people died in prison, their bodies thrown off the boats in New York Harbor. Thousands and thousands more died in accidents, everything you can imagine. And 70,000 people in a country of 2.5 million would mean the equivalent today would be 9 million deaths. 9 million people. They signed this under penalty of death. They declared independence. They decided that this would be the first opportunity in which a government could be derivative of the power of the people. Now, John McCain knew this in every corpuscle of the blood that flowed through his veins and put his body and his mind and his spirit into protecting what these guys got going. Next slide. So this is called the preamble to the Declaration of Independence, and Walter Isaacson has this great new book now called The Greatest Sentence Ever Written. He didn't think up either that phrase or these words, but in his fantastic short little book, which just takes a few minutes to read, an hour or so, he goes through literally almost every word. And I'm going to comment on these words because these words are our guide. What are we trying to do in the United States? What should we be doing with our universities? What kind of universities should we have that would be the home of the McCain Institute? We hold these truths to be self-evident. We heard that earlier, that all men are created equal, period. An aspiration that we have yet to achieve, but an aspiration that we fought and fought and fought and fought and struggled to achieve. that they are endowed by their, and this is a particular word that I pick on relative to some of the stuff going on these days about religion and so forth and so on. Their. It doesn't say the. It says their. Their individual view of the world, their view of the Creator. This is a free, independent country that they're designing. And then they go on to say, and this is what's really important relative to what we're trying to do at ASU, with certain unalienable, now we mostly say inalienable, and we had a number of arguments in my office about what the word means, because that's what egghead academics do. And they've corrected me, and I've corrected them, and they've corrected me, and we've corrected them. We've determined that the word means the same thing. And this is a really important part of this phrase, that among these. This isn't the total list. That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, almost everyone in this room, whether you're a freedom fighter, futurist from Venezuela, or you're from Ukraine or whatever, you know what these words mean. This is the license to a human being, as we heard earlier. This is the license to a human being that all humans are equal. You have unalienable rights, and these rights are your life, your liberty, and your pursuit of happiness, among others. So I dug into this, and I thought, well, what are the others? What were the others that they considered while writing this, and what were the others that the enlightened philosophers that these words are based from thought? Next slide. And it came around to this. So this is something that the McCain Institute, Arizona State University, we believe this to be the case. The United States of America is not a final artifact or outcomes, but an innovative prototype that needs ongoing assessment, adjustment, and improvement towards its goals. Constantly towards its goals. What are its goals? You just saw them in the preamble. How do we make people equal? How do we guarantee their inalienable rights? How do we make these things happen? Next slide. So, what we've done at ASU, we have what we call design aspirations. Our 9th design aspiration is practicing principled innovation. This is in the spirit of the McCain Institute. This ASU places character and values at the center of decisions and actions. What does that mean? It means that if your university is not doing that, why are you there? And so 3 points that I want to make. Each of these are related to what we're trying to do with the McCain Institute from our perspective. Advancing inalienable rights, life, liberty, and we added one, learning. Turns out that in the European, British, and French philosophical traditions of inalienable rights, this was one of them. This is what we do. How do we guarantee that everyone has access to that? All empowered by learning. There is no life, liberty, or the pursuit of happiness in the 21st century or going forward without learning. You can't be ignorant. You can't be unable to move forward. And then in the middle, and this is really important to us in the design of a university, and I'm trying to give you all a sense of this institution grown here in Arizona. Arizona is not like other places. It's very, very different. It didn't grow a university like every other generic university that's out there. Nothing wrong with them, but they're just not doing this. And so, protect the liberties of the present and the future. So how do we do that? Further evolve democracy to higher levels of liberty and expression, something that Senator John McCain fought for and lived for and talked about, something that this institute is focused on, that the McCain Institute is focused on. And then secondly, I'll get some groans from this. How do we advance our society without reducing the liberties of future generations by wrecking the planet that we live on? If you wreck the planet, your great-great-great-grandchildren ain't going to have any liberty. There won't even be any liberty. There'll be no opportunity for liberty because everything that you have that helps give you liberty from the way that your lives are being supported will be gone. And so the other thing we're trying to put in this is thinking across generations. And then lastly, and this is really important, and I think unbelievably important to where the universities have gotten off track, evolve science, truth, and democracy in a certain way where there is no such thing as an ideal science that gives us the right to soar above the concerns of society, and that's what people think the universities have done. They believe that the universities are soaring above the concerns of the society, and really too bad for you intellectual peons out there who can't understand what we're talking about with quantum mechanics and quantum entanglement and the design of 3-atom transistors in 1 nanometer chips and so forth and so on. Like, too bad for you. So what we've done is we've tried to build a new kind of university. I've been in this job for 24 years. This is our charter. Next slide. This is the institution that we are building, constructing, that we have advanced, that we've altered everything that we do. The charter has 3 basic component parts. If you were designing, and I believe this is why the McCain family selected ASU as the home for this McCain Institute. If you were designing an American university, you would not measure the success of the university on how many people it doesn't admit. You would measure the success of the university on how many it did admit and how they succeeded from every family background, meaning everybody had a chance. The meritocratic institution was the driver. You would advance research and discovery of public value. Back to this again. This is where we've gotten disconnected from society. And then lastly, you would take responsibility. One of the weirdest things in the world is when you talk to somebody from university and you say, well, why is K-12 not at a higher level in the United States? And they'll say, well, it's politics. It's politicians. It's lack of money. No, it's not that. It's not that at all. It's universities produce all the teachers, all the superintendents, all the curriculum. They're responsible. They screwed up. It's our fault. It's our fault. That's the university that we built, that we've been able to build. And the university that we have now, largest engineering school in the country, 33,000 students. Largest business school, we're producing 7,500 engineers. Changed everything, changed how we work, changed who can be this, changed who can do that, changed every single thing we do. So, this is the university that is the home of the John McCain Institute for International Leadership. This is the university trying to make that thing a powerful, powerful institution for transformation in the United States and transformation around the world. So, just wanted everybody to know that. I get my couple-minute commercial. So, thank you.